Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man! All right! Episode 166 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Patrick from Cream Design and Print in Arizona. Let's go!
What up, boo?
Yeah, they're sexy.
I realized I was sitting in the preview for 5 minutes and I was like, oh, fuck. I got to let myself in.
Well, it's been a little bit, I feel like. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. What day is it? Are we in 2023?
I don't even fucking, time's irrelevant, dude.
It's a construct. You say
that. It is. Yeah. I watched, do you ever watch the Y-Files on YouTube?
Never heard of it.
It's like a sci-fi show where this guy dives deep into these like theories and I don't know, all this stuff. There was one I watched the other day that was on simulation theory, that we live in a simulation.
Oh yeah,
and it was pretty fucking awesome and pretty fucking convincing. And I was like, God damn it, I believe in
the Matrix type of thing. Like we're plugged in. Kind
of. It's just basically, I'm gonna fuck this up, but it basically just says that at some point there's an intelligence that could be us that basically gets to a point with AI and all this other stuff that we have the computing power to be like, all right, well, we're just going to make a simulation of how this would all go down and then just let it run. And then we kind of do our own thing and make our own simulation. And I just eventually snowballs into all these alternate simulations or whatever. And it's just it's just super interesting. And it just,
I need to,
nothing matters. Just fucking YOLO every day.
We need to be able to hack into the simulation and write some code so that I'm on a yacht, with my flippy floppies. Yep. You know what I mean? That's
what they were saying. That's what they're saying is you create your own reality to a degree because it's kind of like a video game. The world isn't rendered. You're rendering what's in front of you.
Bullshit.
So just think it.
Well, I would make my back better right now. Here we go. Let's try this. Okay, I'm going to render. My back feels good.
You got this.
Hold on. Wow, it worked.
Yeah, just think it. Positive vibes, dude. It's power of positive vibes. That fucking thing is so sweet. Is it stretchy?
Yeah, so we got two different sizes. One for big dick
uterus. Energy. Right, yeah, I'm going to need that one. I'm going to have to tie two together. So that's
little dick energy for you. I told her that, and my co-host, it's whatever. Yeah. But we got, we have two sizes. Okay.
Cool.
But we're a couple of days away, which is so, I don't know. It's crazy to think. And
I will see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. So stoked. I'm already a little bit, I was going to say something, but I shouldn't.
You're like a halfie. Yeah.
It's not, it's a little more than half.
Nice.
Actually, dude, we're all set. Reservations, Olive Garden, it's all set.
All the breadsticks. That's the trick. I don't think any of these other event coordinators have figured out is that you just have the dinner at Olive Garden and then you really only buy an appetizer and then it's just unlimited breadsticks for everybody. Yeah. It's such a cheap, easy dinner.
Yeah, Joanne told me the other day that she lived, she grew up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Fargo, which is an hour away, got an Olive Garden, and they drove there to go out to eat, and then all they would order was the salad, and the
breadsticks,
yeah, that's it, just all day.
Is she talking about it in the background?
Did you hear it? Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, so that was a thing.
First thing, I've never been to Olive Garden before.
No.
Never been.
That's
There's
impossible.
one in my in the city near me. I've just never been.
What a loser.
Why would you go there?
Well, you just have to go, of course. I mean,
you have authentic fucking mom and papa fucking Italian places. Why would you go to a fucking Olive Garden?
It is authentic. That's why. I mean, they have Alfredo. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
An Italian dressing on that salad. You know it.
Italian. And secondly, I got to watch maybe 10 minutes of Joanne's Printavo podcast today?
It's out. Hey,
It's
your
out.
Bravo podcast is out. She just said, fuck.
I know. I watched it and I was like, Joanne.
So you watched how much of it?
I watched like 10 minutes of it.
He watched 10 minutes of it.
And I
he
had to shut it
says-
off because it was terrible.
He said it was so great that he wanted to keep watching, but we had the show. So later.
The funny thing is I watched, and this is going to sound super conceited, but I watched I flipped through like slightly because I want to watch the whole thing tonight because I'm going to be at work. I got things I got to do before I come see you. But I just wanted to breeze through it real quick. And the 2 times that I went through, they were asking her questions about us.
No.
Yeah.
And
They're like, what's it like to sit next to Andy and listen to him do the number 2 industry podcast or whatever?
And she's like, no comment.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I wish I was sitting next to you guys instead.
Yeah. So, hey, I've got something else to show you. We're running a little bit behind. Check this thing out. Do.
Yours is sexy. Mine is too. Mine's a zebra.
You mean it's got stripes?
Yeah. It's white with stripes. It's a zebra.
Mine's a unicorn. You know what that means. But also got
All the candy.
all of this sugar-free. He knows I'm on a...
Dude, did you try it?
Of course not. I'm not eating any of this.
We all tried it as a shop and it's all fucking gross as hell.
That's so terrible to say. Brian, look. So
he knew full well. Like, I love the sentiment. Like, I have the video. I have to post it still, but I had everyone from the shop try it. And it's like, it's just candy from, what is it? Fucking Mexican candy or something?
So here's the thing. Brian from Duds by Dudes was so nice. He sent us a piñata, some San Diego stuff, and this candy. And then I got this card and he says, really nice. It's right here. So he has really nice thing. And the piñata, you don't know this, but it like is alive. And he says, thanks for having me on the podcast today. Nice to have a little industry chat. He says, your shop is way better than Upstate. Oh, I shouldn't read that part. But it's cool, right? Like, it's a really nice.
So he lied to your face in a card. That's cool.
Well, we all know. But
first of all, I super appreciate it. It's awesome. It's the piñata is in my office. It's never going away. The candy I wanted people in the shop to try, but it's not fucking candy, dude. It's like spicy.
It's candy.
It's not candy.
Ready to stretch?
I think I told you last week that I got my results from my scans, and they basically just told me I need to stretch more and go to physical therapy. So, this is my weekly stretch. This is my. I get my stretch in with Frank, and I'm all good. I'm healed.
I talked to Frank yesterday.
I can't wait to talk to him.
He's pretty upset with you, so don't.
I'm sure he is.
Well, he says you haven't called him back in 3 months.
I know. I'm an asshole.
I wouldn't do that to him.
Bring it home. Frank. I'm sorry, Frank. I love you. I'm just an asshole. I'm just blanking out.
You're gonna have a lot of making up to do, I think.
I hope a lot of making out to do.
It all starts with a screen, and whether it is new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatestfuckingscreens.com.
Oh, I like that you put the S in there.
It is.
You felt almost you felt guilty, and so you're adding. Yeah, you're trying to add in there to work. You're working it. I see.
I'm kissing ass right now.
No, he'll notice that too. Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. EasyWay.
It's the easiest way.
I called Alex yesterday he called me. I got that backwards.
I talked to him too.
Okay, whatever. Sure. And he called me first and I answered and I said, hello. And he goes, are you at some bougie restaurant right now? Because everybody apparently thinks I eat at bougie restaurants. But I said, no, actually, I'm eating Costco quesadillas. That's what I was
love
doing.
Costco.
Who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
If you or your art department could use some love, then you need to go to 1-900-HOTStuff.com and get in touch with Nick or Lucas
Or Nika Lucas.
at Graphic Source and let them run your art department so you can focus on running your
Entire business.
choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated. And that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you need.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So if you're not using DTF or screen print transfers in your shop, then you are a moron. We have partnered with Howard Custom Transfers to get you the transfers you need fast. So check them out at howardct.com.
The best.
Best.
The bestest.
Yeah, bestest.
I feel like I should call Frank right now. I keep forgetting.
I'm going to make you call him right now.
All right, I'll call him.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to text him not to answer. Hold on. Don't call yet.
Don't you dare.
Hold on.
Don't you dare.
Well, I don't have to. He won't answer anyway. He's pretty pissed off. He's pretty
fucking hope not.
PO'd.
Look at that. One ring he fucking picks up.
Absolutely.
See?
Faster than me.
I know. And I'm so sorry I haven't called you in a while. I love you to death, Frank. And I'm going to give you the biggest fucking bear hug tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Are you coming in tomorrow or Friday?
No, I try to get there Friday.
You actually just not coming at all? You want to just come? You want to just do something with me instead?
Yeah, what are you going to hang out and do?
I don't know. Whatever you want. Anything's better than shirt on.
I don't know about that. You gotta like it.
Yeah, he's right here. He's listening. I just said I needed to hang out. I needed to call you because it's been a while.
I said that you haven't called him back. Tell him the real story.
I wasn't holding my breath.
Yeah, I know. You would have been dead a long time ago. Well, you have big lungs. You're a big guy. You might have survived.
What are you guys doing? Are you down there already?
No, we're recording, and then I leave tomorrow morning.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well,
yeah.
I just wanted to call you and tell you I loved you, and I'll see you in the day.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right, dude. I'll see you later. See, fucking the love of that man.
Well, you do that. You wrong him too many times, and he won't.
I've never wronged him. I just forgot to call him back. Is all.
Okay. Well, that's wrong. It's called a wrong.
It's true. It is.
Dylan, today we are chatting with Patrick Foley from Cream Design and Print, located in Tucson, Arizona. Is that how you pronounce that?
It's Tucson.
Tucson, yeah.
We know.
Right.
He's just a fucking idiot.
A lot of people spell it with the TUSCON, and a lot of people actually make a merch that says that when they try to come sell it.
Oh, really?
And I try to collect any misspelled Tucson merch I can.
That's awesome. Where are you in the shop right now?
I'm in our fulfillment area. It's one of the coolest places in our shop.
What's this sick fucking pink room on the right?
Oh, pink room is actually our break room. And we have a dehumidifier that when it's humid and we have the monsoons going, it'll pull like 2 gallons of water out of a day. And so I've started using it to hydroponically grow some plants. So that's what's in that other room. There's a little hydroponic setup.
The grow lights?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always think it's funny, like you drive through a town. Well, I live in a small town, but you drive through a town at like 1 a.m. or something, and you see these houses with all the lights off, but there's always that one room that's like bright pink or something like that. Like, they're growing some special stuff in there.
We have mainly lettuce, nothing too special going.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going on, dude? How's the shop right now? How's life?
Life is good. Shop's doing good. We're in our normal downtime during the summer. Mm-hmm. And so that is when we kind of ramp up our brand releases for cream merch to make up for print schedule being slow. So that's what we're working on now, which is always fun.
Do you sell a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, we do pretty good. I think the brand has grown a lot and has really helped, at least with our print shop being more prominent in social media and stuff like that. And that's what I did before starting the print shop, is I had my own clothing brand, and that's kind of how I got into screen printing. So that's always been a passion of mine.
Was it always called Cream?
No, the brand I had before it was called Cream was called Carne and Queso. It was like some pretty outlandish, surreal, weird stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is your so you were mentioning you're in a little bit of a slow season. Are you affected by college? I mean, I guess Tucson has a pretty big campus, or
it's a pretty big campus, pretty big community of college kids. And the main thing that we get affected by is the local shops that have college kids as clients. So it's not like we don't print many things for the university itself, but like just all the surrounding businesses in Tucson. During this summer, there's not a lot of tourists coming. And also without all the college kids there, coffee shops aren't going to be popping and selling merch as much. I think a lot of people in Tucson kind of build that into their schedule. A lot of places close down for a month or two, go on summer break. We use it as a time to kind of retool the shop, clean, stuff like that. And then we release our Tucson Summer Fun Club merch, which is always a big merch drop for us.
Tucson Summer Fun Club?
Yeah, which started as like an inside joke with friends when we were in our 20s. We'd sneak into pools and have parties and just be like, we're the Tucson Summer Fun Club. So that's grown into something that it's just one of our releases we do each year with a bunch of kind of like summer Tucson themed things for people who live here, but also a lot of people who are stuff used to live here or other places.
So we used to do some of that as teenagers also, but we would jump the fence into like private, like at your house. Yeah. That type of pool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You mean like public pools you would go do that?
Usually
or like
apartment complexes where it's a little, or like a hotel where it's a little, once they ask you if you're a guest or what room you're in.
Andy was just B&E.
Yeah. Yeah. B&E. Yeah. I mean, I think I've done that. I definitely have done that, but usually it's like, hey, our neighbor's out of town for 3 months, and then
they come back and their pool is just destroyed.
There's just a ton of Snickers floating on top of the water.
Have you ever done a pool B&E and the people are inside and came running out?
Yeah, well, like they turn on the lights, to the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Like what the fuck? It was usually at night, and so
it
was the 80s, and you had a lot less risk of being murdered or something because of
Andy,
it. But,
Andy always skinny dipped, and then when they turned the lights on, they saw what he was working with, and we're like, just let him go. He's got enough problems in life, so he never got arrested.
It was fun though. Like, we did all kinds of stupid shit. So did you, Dylan, when you were young, for whatever reason. You just thought that
many.
Yeah. I thought I was immortal for one, like nothing. I never got hurt. Everything was fine. Didn't get in trouble. You would just run really fast. Like if they came out, you were gone. I don't know. It was just so easy. We were living back then.
Yeah.
How do we get back there?
How do we do more arson?
Yeah. I think it's pre-social media too. Like if I was in high school, I probably would have been filming all the stuff I was doing and getting immediately in trouble when I'm uploading it to,
Dylan, maybe it's time to take this M down.
No.
Wild.
Oh, we're wild now. Flip it over.
Yeah, maybe it's time. I don't know.
There was so much shit when we were younger that was just like, we talked about before about that meme that we had seen, but I see them all the time now where it's like, look, not a cell phone in sight. And it's like people sword fighting to the death or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's just the stupid shit we did to like I don't know, just there's that other video of that kid, these two kids playing or whatever, and this one kid takes his bike and throws it off a bridge. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just throwing bikes in the river." It's
Yeah.
like it's like, what the fuck is happening? So speaking of B&E, that's kind of a big thing with you, right?
Yeah.
What happened there? What's the story?
We had a few people break into our building around 9 p.m. and our last employee left at 8:30 p.m. So I don't know if they were watching the building, but it possibly. I think the first thing that happened is our camera in the back of our shop was stolen, which I had placed within reach of someone, which is pretty stupid. Should have put it up higher. And then we had no cameras inside our building, and we had one in the front when you enter. But our neighbor has cameras all around his building, or we're in like a complex, but he's right next to us. So all the footage I have is from his building, showing this guy kind of coming, traversing the building, leaving, and then they come back, I think around 1 a.m. and just start carting stuff away. And they
what were they taking? What did they get?
They took a lot of our inventory that we have for.
So they're just really big fans then.
Really big fans, and they took a lot of screen printing equipment that I would like. They took spiff gun, pressure washers. Like, they obviously didn't take our presses because they're too big, or our dryer, but just kind of loaded up boxes of stuff that I can't imagine has too much of a resale value to anyone not in the screen printing industry.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. This person came at 9 o'clock and took the camera down.
That's what I assume, because we also have a train behind our building, and that camera is set to be it's a blink camera, and so you can set the
like it's motion or something.
Yeah, how much motion will trigger it, and it's set pretty low. But if you stand in front of it and move a little bit, it'll turn on. And there's no video footage from that camera. And the next day, it was gone. And from our neighbor's camera, we could see this guy coming at 9, going to the back of our building, doing something, leaving, and then coming back with a couple people at around 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to get our roll-up door up. And there's like some evidence of like kind of prying it, like bending it upward somewhat. But I honestly don't know how they were able to get the roll-up door up. We didn't have locks on it, but we have we didn't have
it's got the
keyed
slide
locks
thing,
on
right?
it. Yeah, the slide thing, and then there's the chain that wraps around like a hook.
Yeah.
So we had that secured, and somehow they were able to get the roll-up gate up. So now that little slide thing, we have a locked lock on it and lock the chain to that hook. So
I want to ask you real quick about the blink cameras, because I've had 2 different camera systems here. The first one, I just hated the like the system, it's like some made in China, like log into this kind of thing. It was just very not user friendly. Yeah. So I was like, I'll get these blink ones because they seem good. It's got to have like, it just goes to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be pretty good. My problem with them is sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Like, I'll have a whole day where nothing gets recorded at all.
Yeah.
And then I'll have a day where it's like every 15 seconds. Like the shop one is like every 3 minutes or 5 minutes. It does like a 20-second clip or something. But like, I have some out here on the dock that are like people walking by, and it'll be a whole day with like no footage at all. And I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell is going on with this thing?
I have definitely had similar issues with it. We also use it as a doorbell, and for some reason there was like a 5-minute delay between people pushing the doorbell and getting a phone alert. So it is absolutely annoying being in the back of the shop. And when I hear it on my phone, I know someone's like at the front doorbell and maybe someone's not in their front office to answer it.
I think something I want to do at some point is I just need to hire somebody locally and be like, can you just like install a system here?
Yeah.
So when you
for
say
sure.
system, do you mean video and also security? Because so we have that.
I
You know,
honestly
we
don't
have-
care about the security part.
Why?
I just want the footage.
I know you have the baseball bat deal, you know, and that's your security.
I don't want
but-
the authorities to know because I want to do the murdering.
Mhm.
I want to do the detective work on my own.
Yeah, I did some detective work for our after our break-in. It's pretty exciting.
So what did you find out?
So there's like a group of homeless people, houseless people down the street that live near the train tracks. So a couple people were like, it had to be those people that did it. And I'm like, well, there'd be some evidence of that happening. So I went down there and hung out and talked to people, and like, I absolutely thought no way any of the people strung out down there had anything to do with it. And I saw no evidence of anything. Like, I would recognize a shop towel with plastisol ink on the ground, or, you know, I saw no evidence of it. After a couple of days of driving around and trying to find any,
my thing with your theft was if they stole a shitload of your merch, wouldn't you like see it somewhere and be like, where'd you buy this from? Or
yeah, and I have gone to the swap meet. That's like the most. There's a big swap meet here. I was like, if you have a bunch of random stuff and clothing, like where else are you going to sell it but the swap meet? Have not seen it there. I have no idea where you would. I've looked on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. I've seen nothing come up.
That's
Do
what
you have
happened to TC. Did you know that, Dylan?
yeah.
TC got broken in twice, and then he saw, what was it? I think somebody was wearing some of that merch at a Spirit Wear merch or something like that at school, at some school there, and that's how they found the people. I want to say it went down something like that. Tony has
really?
security issues too, and so that's why I brought up the fact of, you know, after something like this happens, didn't you obviously you feel violated and people were in your store? It's what else did they take? And it could have been worse. You know, they could have destroyed your presses and been an asshole or whatever.
Or that employee could have still been there when they broke in. And then
true.
Totally.
Yeah.
That is even the first person that got here walking through the dark building, turning on lights, and they went to the back, and they saw that the roll-up door was open.
Mm-hmm.
And so they immediately called me, and I was freaking out thinking like, there might be someone still in the building. Like, I have no idea what time that, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Has it motivated you to get a security system, you know, because so it's not that much monthly.
We have not. I've been still looking into it. We've gotten 2 more cameras that are inside our building. So if anyone broke into our building, they would be on camera if they came in through the back or the front. And we are looking at alarm systems that would enable us to, if there's any type of break-in, we would be alerted to that. We have 2 windows in front in the roll-up door, 1 door in front, a door in back. So just been shopping around trying to figure out what alarm system and company makes sense.
I think the cheapest route with stuff like that is to go with motions. I mean, yeah, you can get contacts. Yeah. They're wireless.
Oh, okay.
So like we have, I would say that we have 1, 2, maybe we have a handful of contacts. So if you open a door, that's a zone, right? And it's wireless. So it's not like you have to run a wire. In the old days, you'd have to run a wire back to your like central, back to your keypad and all that stuff. It's wireless. And then the main thing is just to get motions up. And so we have probably 6 motion detectors throughout our shop, and it's all zoned. And if there's any motion, which it happens sometimes, and it's like a spider or whatever, you know, and so it'll say like, if it's just a motion, sometimes I just look at the cameras and I'm like, I don't see anybody in there. Don't send the police. Let's say I get a call at midnight or whatever. Like, hey, we got an alarm going off. First of all, I'm texts, then they call. If I don't clear it, and then they say we have a motion going off, and I know that it's a or sorry, we have an alarm going off. And if it's a motion, it's less likely it's somebody that's breaking in, even though that can still happen.
I see.
But
Yeah, for sure.
the cheapest way to do it, I would say, is just to throw a few motion detectors in there and then spend, I would call it $50-ish a month to have a company monitor it at all times. Yeah. And then also our alarm here is so loud. Like if you don't key in your code within 30 seconds, you go deaf. Like we've had a few people here, including myself.
Yeah.
It's that loud. It's crazy loud. There's no way you want to be in our building or anywhere near our building when the alarm goes off. And so you get the hell out.
The funny thing is
about the alarm being a deterrent itself. Yeah.
Just loud and obnoxious.
Have you seen the thing? Did we talk about this before? But there's a reel going around right now where somebody breaks in a house, and I think it's Alexa.
Yeah, where it turns red and says you made a bad decision or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you fucked up.
I've not seen that.
It goes, you fucked up. You picked the wrong house.
Yeah.
And then
goes into like doom mode where it's
it's like let the bodies hit the floor song comes on or something. Yeah. So you can set that up.
Wow. Yeah. You're really getting my mind working on some like Home Alone type devices that could be set up to.
Funny thing is, we have these
some like
cameras.
plastisol cannon.
We have these cameras, and like they could be used for whatever, but the only thing we've used them for is to make fun of employees. Like someone slips in the parking lot and eats it hard, or someone does something in the shop that just was like super dumb or whatever. It's always like, hey, let's look back at the camera and like watch them do that over and over again. It's never been anything like worthwhile other than that. But I do feel like
the front door camera to talk to people. Yeah.
I've scared my mom with the shop one twice because she'll be here by herself on the weekend cleaning. And then I'll be like, say something in a super creepy voice or something in the camera. And she's like, what the? But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I just, it makes me feel better knowing that they're there and that I can check them from anywhere. And I just need to get a better one. Like right now works. It's just not as good as I think it could be. But I guess moral of the story is, so they didn't catch who broke in.
No. And we have the video footage that was all submitted. The video footage isn't great. I think the security system, which was pretty in depth that our neighbor has, was installed probably like 20 years ago or something. It's not the best video quality.
What did you guys do? Like as an owner, did you just tell everybody like, hey, sorry this happened, we're just going to move on? Like, was anybody like worried or freaked out or? Yes.
And like immediately got more cameras set up. If anyone's here alone
that would be my biggest concern is making sure nobody's ever at the shop by themselves anymore.
Yeah, for sure. So that's something that we have had people come in alone either early or stay late. And so that's now something that we make sure no one is here alone in the morning or at night. And that just involves coordinating with people to make sure if you want to come in early, I'm sure someone else does as well.
Right. Buddy system.
Yeah, buddy system. I still come in on the weekend, but I've honestly stopped coming in at nighttime, just for own fear of being here alone. Yeah we also have some kind of pyromaniac in the area as well who lights garbage cans on fire. So
seems cool. We were just talking about that. Doing stupid shit. It's probably just some kid just. It's that fun.
Man. I thought that, but we had like, I think one recycling can, 3 garbage cans. I think 3 separate times, all of them were lit on fire and melted to the ground. Could be a kid, but probably a kid with pyromania because it just seems like, and it's happening all around downtown Tucson. Oh.
Weird. Is it just so hot?
Yeah, actually the break-in like made me not think about that for a bit. And it honestly felt like kind of a relief to. Yeah.
How about insurance wise? Because honestly, I don't know what I think our policy is in the deductible range of 1,500. I'm going to check because I don't know. I want to say it's probably 1,500 or 2,000. And I should know this
Yeah.
But
And-
what about insurance? Have you
And
changed
so we
anything?
have
And-
still not received any insurance money, and still in dialogue with the insurance company to get compensation. And they've been very slow with their responding.
Insurance
to the
companies
situation.
never want to pay. They never want to pay.
Yeah.
us.
And yeah, I think yeah, so we're still in that process. It took us a full week, I think, to inventory and go through what was stolen and what merch was actually gone. And so I was hoping after that week, maybe at the end of the next week, we would get some kind of financial compensation, but it's taken way longer than I expected it to. It's pretty frustrating.
But you guys are at least like mentally past it. You're more prepared.
Yeah, and we did a GoFundMe to fund our immediate losses, and without that, I think I would have looked into taking a short-term loan, probably with a high interest rate. So kind of having the GoFundMe and having like our community support us in that way, like got us through that. Like we were able to have the shop running within a couple of weeks without any hiccups.
Was the funding just to replenish the inventory, or was it just to overall?
Yeah, it was to replenish what was stolen for us. So that was also buying pressure washers, spiff guns, just a whole list of what we lost. We also, since they cleared out our inventory in any other situation where we were in some kind of financial pickle or something, we would probably do a sale on our merch, would probably encourage people to go to our online shop. But at that point, we had slim pickings in there just based on like what they had taken. And we are also, summer's our slow season, and we had sunk a bunch of money into merch that we had just made to sell over the summer. And so a lot of that stuff got taken. So it was right before we were going to get slow. We had spent a bunch of money on merch to sell, which we usually do to get through the slow summer. So it was like the worst possible moment for it to happen in a way. And so we had never done a GoFundMe before or anything kind of like that. And I was a little bit reticent to do something like that.
But it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. And it was honestly like for the different people on the team to be able to work on that. It was nice because I think having like a project to deal with the break-in happening when it's violating, and it's not just doing inventory to figure out what was stolen, I think was nice to have that, and having so much positive feedback from it. And
what did you give for
nice.
did you give like the rewards for like?
No, we didn't do any rewards. It was just, hey, if you have any money
Like,
to go towards this, like we're in a bit of a pickle. Here's the list of the stuff we lost. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I think a lot of times some of our, issues we have are internal, and we don't wear it on our sleeve or put it on social media. Like, hey, our flash drive, well, like, please help us. That's just something as a business that we incur, save up money. So I think I had been don't necessarily like to ask for help in that way, but it was nice having all that feedback and
to know that people are there.
Yeah, totally. Even without, offering any type of prize or, stuff like that.
Yeah. So can you step back from this a bit and tell us about Cream, like how you got started and your story?
Yeah. So I've been doing screen printing since high school. Took a brief foray into trying to do that as a business with a friend of mine. And we totally messed up our first order we got when I was in high school. And it was for it was like the Young Lawyers Guild or some kind of thing for law students at ASU. And all the text in their image was like Greek numerals, I believe. And we totally
And
printed
I was going to say you spelled Tucson wrong, of course.
Yeah. Well, this is actually in Phoenix. I lived in Phoenix for a bit. And we printed the shirts. We burned the screen in like inverted, printed all the shirts and he took them to him. And my friend was like a little bit of a crazy guy, hot-headed. They were like, hey man, we want a refund. And he refused. And so he came back to me. He's supposed to have payment, was like, hey, we're going to get sued by all these students at ASU. So I was like, oh man, I'm going back to doing this as a hobby. So it took me a long time to kind of warm back up to the idea of turning that hobby into a business. But that's what I ended up doing in 2016 is when I stopped doing my clothing brand Carne and Queso and decided to start taking on clients doing screen printing for other people.
Were you getting people that were just inquiring to place orders and you were like, I don't really do that?
I knew a lot of people who kind of in a similar position. I had my own brand and I think I was dealing with a lot of print shops who mainly did clothing for sports teams and maybe other things like that, where they're not too worried about maybe color matching sometimes. And I didn't really like the quality. And so I was like, hey, I have other people asking me because they are just seeing the shirts that I'm putting out and they recognize there's some kind of quality there. And so that's where I realized there's already like a market niche that I could be servicing, which is my friends and bands and other people trying to start their own clothing brand. And locally, there might not be that kind of level of quality that they're looking for.
Right. You wanted to step it up a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where were you at that point? Were you out of a garage or a house, or did you have a spot?
I was out of a garage. Yeah. I had a kind of like a weird barn garage that someone had used, I think, to park their RV in because it already had an electrical hookup for 220. So that's like why I moved into the house. I was like, oh, I can screen print out of this weird, funky garage building in back. And it's already hooked up with power. And I, at the time, had a few Bitcoins. And so I sold those for, I think in total about $3,000, $4,000. And I bought used commercial screen printing equipment. And that was my first foray into doing it for other people. Up until then, I think I had a 4-color Ryonet press and would use some other water-based inks and stuff. You
were doing this all by yourself?
I was doing it all by myself. And within a few weeks, my wife, we weren't married yet. So my fiance then was like, hey, you have like 10 emails you need to respond to. And I was like, I know, but I got to print the jobs from the previous 10 people who already paid me. So she's like, why don't I start answering emails for you? And that quickly became her taking over all our client communication, which enabled me to start taking printing more and more jobs.
Were you happy to hand that over?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love talking to people. I love schmoozing. So I like maybe like what you might call more like the sales aspect of client communication, but you
like getting them in. You just don't like dealing with them once they're in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, my wife was able to lay the groundwork for a successful business. And then I was able to concentrate on the print shop and getting in clients that I wanted to work with that were in my same, I guess, like cultural community and bands and cool shops and stuff like that.
So from there, you just slowly grew to what you are today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And using my previous job, I did social media marketing and I did design work. So I think I was able to jump in using that. And I think in our kind of area, there was not that either. There wasn't like the cool hit print shot.
Right.
I was like, I gotta make this the cool hit print shot of the
Do you feel
Tucson
like,
region.
do you still do that now? Like, is that a focus of yours, is to make sure you have a good social media? Because that's a really weird topic for me right now, because
Yeah.
we were heavy in, and this is a conversation I literally had
Mhm.
like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Was like, we started on MySpace,
Mhm.
and that was like a big deal back then, of hitting people up. And then it was Facebook, and then it was Instagram, whatever. And if you would have asked me, I don't know, even 4 years ago, 3 years ago, probably 4 or 5 years
Mhm.
ago, I would say, oh yeah, 90% of our business comes from social media, like Instagram, all sort of stuff. Like, we're getting, because we're in a small town and nationally,
Yeah.
people see us and they order online, and most of the people would say they saw us on Instagram.
Interesting.
Nowadays, over the last 3 years or so, not like none. Like, I would say almost all of our business now is just relationships we already have, or
Mhm.
word of mouth and just normal organic stuff. But I feel like social dropped so hard since like 2020, maybe a little
Mhm.
before. And
I would say, yeah, we have a similar, or I have like a similar experience, and kind of unsure exactly why. I think our brand keeps growing through social media for our clothing brand, and we put money into that.
is that from Instagram or from Facebook?
It's mainly from Instagram. But there's a different client, which, I mean, some are the same, that comes to us for their merch making needs. And I have noticed less people coming to us for merch making needs that come from Instagram or social media in general, but are usually coming to us because they got a recommendation through word of mouth, something like that.
So like, my whole thing was, we went through this weird fucking like pandemic and like all this stuff, and things have been so like up in the air of like, what are we doing? And then like 2020 and 2021, we were slammed. We were like, you know, everybody else, we were like, oh, we're like 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then 22, 23, it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, our turnaround's like 7 business days all the time. And it's just kind of like just enough work coming in to where we can't complain too much and whatever else. And over the last couple of months, I've been like gathering a couple friends that I know are really good at like SEO and like Google ads and like, you know, social media stuff or whatever. And I'm like, you know, I'm trying over these last 2 years to do more like working on the business, marketing, and just big picture stuff. And I've been doing a lot of traveling and all sorts of stuff. I was like, I don't have the capacity to pay as much attention to Facebook, Instagram, the website, stuff like that as I used to. I really want to, I like to, but I always feel like I get really motivated one week and I post a lot, and then the next week I kind of drop off to like not being consistent. So I finally, after all this time, came to terms with the fact of, this is just like anything else with the business, where you get to a point where you're like, I feel like what's best for the situation is for me to delegate this. So I delegated it to these new people, and now I have people like doing the website, the Facebook, the Instagram, and like all the Google stuff. And it's like, I've noticed over the last 2 weeks, like a pretty hefty incline in attention and inquiries and leads, like all this other stuff. So I'm like, fuck, like I should have done this a while ago. Like, I know everything's a pay to play now, basically.
Yeah.
Are you sure though? How can you track that it's actually converting from Instagram, or, you know what I'm saying? Or do you
Because
have
I'm
something
getting the
built in?
leads, like I'm getting constant email leads daily now of like, this person hit us up. This person wants this. We didn't have that before. Like, we were basically down to 0 people on Instagram being like, hey, I want to place an order. And now, like, since I've been doing this, I've been having almost like a couple a day where it's like, oh, they're interested in doing something, or just even on Instagram and stuff, doing outbound, like DMing breweries or other companies or whatever. Like, we're getting replies. I just haven't been doing it for so long that now I'm like, well, fuck. I think the new wave to do this is to hire someone who's dedicated and do actually pay to play.
Yeah, and I hired someone internally that already worked at the company that was handling some of our responses on our Instagram. Her name's Alyssa, and she has taken over running, I think, our social media for the past year and has been doing a great job at it. And that was me realizing that I needed to delegate that so I can concentrate on other things, but also I needed someone who was keeping up on what is actually working on social media, which something I wasn't.
Well, that was my biggest problem.
And yeah,
right.
You know.
Well, that was my biggest problem is for years and years, I did Upstate as me. Like when people DM me on Upstate, they knew it was me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where basically a little while before I got divorced that I was like, I just want to do like, I find myself posting more and more like personal shit where I probably shouldn't be posting this on the Upstate one. So I was like, I'm going to make my own. And then now I just like focus my actual energy and like, you know, memes and whatever else I want to do on my own. And then I feel like I just leave Upstate in the dust because it's like, oh, I'll get around to posting this video or this thing about whatever. And I feel like Andy kind of similar, like you're just like, I don't even post on here anymore. Like I don't care as much or I'm not getting as much from it or whatever. Like what we had a conversation a little while ago, you posted like 3 times in 2022 or something.
No.
Us, yeah, it wasn't very many, but it used to. So I was sort of like, it sounds like my story is similar to you guys, and that my Instagram, my Short Kong Instagram was me, and I shared so much, and it was just I think that when we were early to it, like we all were back then, that, you know, Instagram started off like when I was posting, it was just photos. There was no story or reels or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have video for a while there. It was just like a photo. Yeah. And so we were in there doing it and there weren't as many ads. The space wasn't as crowded. And I'm not trying to make an excuse like, oh, you know, it's
only
saturated.
Thing that was in your feed was people you followed. Now it's like ad suggested people, like all this stuff. Yeah. It's like, what is all this bullshit?
I think that, you know, along the way, Instagram divided into 3 different things. And so now, like, Joanna and I were confused the other day because we were posting on hers and we're like, okay, well, if you post to reel, then it automatically posts to your, you can set it to have a feed post, but then how do you get it into story? And we're like, what the fuck? Like, it just, this is a mess. And then there's some people that just sit there and watch story. They don't even look at your feed or a feed or their feed.
That's me.
And there's some people that look at feed. There's some people look at reel. And then you're like, wait, all of the attention just got divided. And so you're putting it across all 3. And then what? You know, like, and then so I used to put stuff out there and then people that followed us actually saw it. But now I don't know, how many people see it? 100 at the most? It's just crazy, you know? And so I think that you can get in that algorithm, and as long as you're posting daily, you know, multiple times on multiple story, reel, feed, the whole thing, you've got to be in it. Otherwise,
but that's exactly why I hired somebody just to even test it, to be like, and I told him, I was like, let's do this for a month and just see what happens. Like, let's evaluate at the end and see what happens. And like I said, like now we have a plan of like, okay, every other day we're going to post, well, every other day we're going to post twice a day, like photos or, you know, whatever. And then on the off day, we'll do a reel, and then we'll do, you know, however many stories every day of the week, and we'll see what happens. And then we'll play with the times a day and like whatever else. And again, it kind of sucks to do that because it sucks the fun out of it. But like, if you're doing it as a business to pay to play, it's kind of like, all right, well, let's just try to get this in, and like, whatever we got to do for the algorithm to get this in the front of as many of the faces of people that care about us and follow us. That's what we're doing. Like, we're not doing it to try to be like, oh, it's all business. I just want as many people that will want to see it to see it. So that's what we're trying. And like I said, it seems to be doing good. The only downfall to it, to me, is that like, it's not, and this sounds shitty, but like, it's not me. It's not my voice anymore. You know,
Mhm.
like people still comment and message on there too, and they think it's me, which is fine. And I log in once a day to like see those, but it's still like it's another person who's running it's like
Oh,
field.
so those pics that you sent, what, that wasn't yours?
Those are me. Yeah, those are just for you. But
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. It's just like that's what's nice about having a personal. And like if I was to say look at things and be like, oh, this is how I use Instagram anymore, it's always stories.
Yeah.
Like stories for me is like I'll post stories all day long, and I'll make an actual post like maybe once every couple of weeks. And like when I scroll Instagram now, I usually go through almost all the stories, and then I go through my feed a little bit, and then I hit like a reel, and then I'm just scrolling through random reels that are just stupid shit that I'll send friends or whatever. But like actually going through everybody's post is not as common. Like it's not.
So are you the sole person doing the stories, or you're just one, like the other person is doing stories as well?
They're doing this everything to do with Upstate, like the Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying like for my personal, I'll do stories all day long of like my own shit or stupid stuff.
We've talked about splitting up just because they're kind of bifurcating things. We've talked about doing that actually within the shop and having Gabby, who is our print shop manager, maybe just take over doing stories that have to do with things happening in the print shop, because we've noticed that we've gotten a lot of response to things that are just, hey, I'm cleaning out a screen, and like people are like, wow, what is that? And we're like, oh, maybe that kind of unpolished, just showing stuff going on in the shop is something that we should try to bring back in by giving pieces of our social media to our print shop manager to kind of
we do kind of that exact thing. Basically I pay Bill extra every week to take shop photo and video every day. Like I'm like, try to get at least like 10 photos of stuff around the shop and maybe a video a day or a video every other day. Because he's good at editing and all that other stuff. He doesn't actually do the posting, but what he does is he takes all these photos and videos every day, puts them in a Google Drive of like the day's date. And then the guy running the Instagram and Facebook goes into those folders every day and like pulls content to post.
Is that person on part of your team, or are they doing that remotely?
The posting person and Facebook and Instagrams are remote, but Bill is obviously here doing all the photo and video all day. So that was the hard part, is like you think about hiring a social person, and a lot of shops that are people I have friends of mine that I talk to about it, is it's like someone who comes in, you know, a couple days a week, maybe for a couple hours, walks around, takes photos, whatever. But the hard part is then you have to schedule the cool stuff that you want to show off to when they're going to be there and like all this other stuff. So my whole thing was I'll just have Bill do anything he thinks is relevant and cool in the shop all day. Just dump. I told him, I was like, if it's stupid, but like you think it's a cool shot or whatever, just take a picture of it, put it in the drive. We'll make a decision at the end of the day if we want to like show it off or not. So the remote person just basically can do whatever they're doing all week, and I don't have to have them here. It's something I can pay separately. I don't have to put them on payroll. And then it's like I said, it's still testing for us. Like we've been doing it for maybe a week, 2 weeks now, but I personally think it's doing really well. Like I think that it's a step in the right direction of our goal for this year of doing more outbound. I think it's part of the strategy.
Are you guys on TikTok?
No.
There's
technically we are, but I never.
Yeah, we have a TikTok and don't do too much with it, but our social media person has like showed me, she's like, hey, here's some like printmaking stuff that's blowing up on TikTok. And a lot of it is like very non sequitur. It's like a guy standing on top of his press, like twirling around. It has like millions of views.
I might know who that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We know who that is.
Oh, okay. She just said that. I was like, what? A guy standing on a press twirling around getting millions of views? Oh, okay. I do know who that is too. It just made me think, there's probably a whole different set of parameters for TikTok.
Pretty much everybody I've talked to, everybody I've talked to, and even people that are really good at TikTok with the screen printing thing, have almost all said it doesn't really convert to sales.
That is the other thing. Yeah.
They're like, basically it's one of those things where it's like a pat on the back of like, oh, this went viral and whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it might draw people to their Instagram to like get more likes and follows on Instagram. But they're like, it rarely actually converts to, I think TikTok is just like the fastest like way for people to just absorb bullshit. It's like, for me, I use TikTok when like I'm in the bathroom or like I'm bored at the doctor's office or so. It's just like, I'm just absorbing dumb, numb content. Like it doesn't ever make me want to buy anything. It doesn't ever make me like want to save it as like, oh, this is super interesting. It's always just like garbage, like fast paced entertainment stuff. And I just feel like that's what it is people probably see something to do that's, oh, that's cool printing. And then they swipe instantly to the next thing.
I definitely think there's probably a growing disconnect between people who are successful at social media yet spend too much time and effort doing that and realizing at some point is not converting to sales. Because there's also businesses that I know and like that don't have social media. They're B2B businesses that have been operating for 50 years with no social media yet. They have great clients. They've been slowly growing over a period of time. I have to like reorient sometimes to be like, social media is not necessarily the only sales tool. And it,
that's what I'm finding. You know? And me and Andy, I think we're both guilty of this too. And I kind of came to the realization like a year or so ago. And I think that's kind of when I started to lose interest to a degree of like self-realization that I was doing this is I'm so into print industry stuff and doing all this stuff that I feel like I was making posts that were more catering towards other printers. And then you realize you're like you kind of step back and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm doing this as social and I'm talking to my print friends and all that's awesome. Like I'm not negating any of that. That's awesome. But it's to a degree, I'm like, I'm supposed to be trying to get new customers. Like, why am I just showing off all this print stuff all the time when like customers don't give a fuck?
No, I think that they do. I think that as long as it doesn't come across like you're showing off, like maybe more authentic, like, hey, I mean, you described this a minute ago where you're in your shop and you made this video of, what did you say? You were like printing or cleaning a screen or doing something. And I think if you do that and you have your engagement, let's say you have some engagement from your print industry friends, that's fine. But if you're scrolling through Instagram and I come across your shop and that feed and I see that engagement, I'm more inclined as a customer to say, hey, wait, these guys are cool. They know what they're doing. They're legit. You have credibility, even though you're within. Yeah. It's like, maybe I call you, maybe I don't like engage with you and comment and say, wow, that's sick or whatever, but I call you and say, hey, I need 100 shirts. So I think that it works still. I think that
the problem is that I was doing that all the time. Like what I wasn't doing is shit that I think I should mix in, where it's kind of like there's a couple shops that are really good at this, and I won't necessarily say their name or whatever, but there's a couple that are really good at like doing the print stuff, but a lot of their content is like product showcasing or something about just order process and stuff like this, not just like here's a video of something on press all the time, or here's a photo of a shirt, or here's cleaning a screen or whatever. Like I am at the point now, me and Bill had a long talk about this yesterday because we had a live print together yesterday and we talked a lot about work stuff. I was like, I really want to get back to making content specifically for the customer. Like, hey, here's our 2023 like top items we like to use. Like, here's how to place a good order. And we used to do this a long time ago of like, here's the best way to order band merch to start from like the lowest amount of money invested to growing it to where it, you have a ton of merch or whatever. Like, I want to start doing more of that. And I wasn't doing that. I was just constantly just like showing off prints or fucking halftone detail and like, and that's cool. That's fine. I just feel like I needed these 2 years of the pandemic and stuff to be like, get to where I am now of like a reset, to be like, I need to reevaluate social media and marketing and outbound, like all this other stuff. So I honestly feel really good about it right now. Like, I feel like I'm doing things that are true to us, but also how things work in 2023, 2024. So all that being said, you did mention something I also want to talk about that I don't know jack shit about was the Bitcoin.
Oh yeah. Well, I bought Bitcoins when they were worth not a lot of money. I had a friend who told me, "Hey, do you know you can buy drugs on the internet?" And I was like, "Please tell me more about this." So there was a dark website called the Silk Road. Did you ever hear about that?
I've heard of it before.
Yeah. So I think it was the first marketplace that you could use Bitcoin, and they would literally just be pictures of drugs with a Bitcoin price. And you could buy it. And he's like, I have this hallucinogenic chemical, that.
Was it because it's untraceable?
Yes. Yeah. Which I think now in retrospect, it's not totally untraceable, but they can trace the wallet and stuff like that. But it's used because it's untraceable. I believe that you would have to give the seller your address and they send it to you. So it's definitely.
So did you just buy Bitcoin to use that website and then had it sitting there for so long?
Yeah, and I never could figure out how to get on the website and buy drugs. So in order to buy them at the time, you had to he sent me here's what you have to do. You're going to wire the money to some bank in Romania. And then, I was like, hey, can I give you $250 and you just give me $200 worth of Bitcoin, do the process for me? He's like, oh, sure. So then he's like, set up a wallet. I'll send you $200 worth of Bitcoin. And so he did that. And then I could never figure out how to get into the website. And so I think it was like 10 Bitcoins at the time. And when I bought them, they're worth $200. And then the longer I didn't figure out how to use them, the longer they accrued, they became worth money. So at a certain point, I was like, whoa, these things are worth like $4,000 or something. So and then by that time, Bitcoin there's a little more infrastructure to it. So I was able to, I think, create like a Coinbase account, which is it just connects to your bank account. And I was able I sold them over time to finance getting screen printing equipment. And
So
I actually
the investment into drugs that didn't end up panning out actually got you your business.
Yeah. So try to buy drugs, be lazy, everything will pan out.
Exactly. That's how it should work.
Yeah.
Do you play around with that stuff anymore at all? Or was that just a coincidence?
So even at that time, I was like, all right, man, what's the next big thing? And he's like, this thing called Litecoin, this other coin. I was like, okay, buy me some Litecoin. So I kept that. And a similar thing happened where I was like, well, lesson learned, don't try to buy and sell it each day to arbitrage cryptocurrency, which I'm, so I was like, okay, I'll buy some of those Litecoins. I'll buy $200 worth of Litecoins. I'll let those sit there. And then that was on my computer. That computer died, but I knew inside that computer there was these Litecoins. So I just kept that computer for a number of years. And one time I checked it and I was like, oh my God, this is worth $5,000. So I took my computer, took the hard drive out, put it in a different computer, and it started up. And I had just gone to a dentist and knew I was going to have to get oral surgery for an infected wisdom tooth. So I was trying to be like, how am I going to finance this? Time to break out that computer. So I was able to get that working, download those Litecoins, and just spend whatever the total amount was. It was around $4,000 or something. All went into filling cavities, getting oral surgery. But I was so thankful I had that weird thing left.
That's so awesome. I don't know jack shit about cryptocurrency or any of that. I feel like it was so all over the place in your face for so long, and now I never hear about it at all.
I know. Well, it's because I think you hear about it when it's people are using it as an investment vehicle, and that's something that's going to go up and down, and then you got to pay attention to it. I think when Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency became an actual currency you can use day to day, people wouldn't be that excited about it, talk about it. Because if it's wildly swinging up and down, there's no point in using it as a currency.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. I mean, Andy,
I think
you have,
people are
like,
way
$1
too
million in
into it.
crypto?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Do you have any questions for us at all?
Are you guys going to ISS this year?
Long Beach, always. I feel
Yeah.
like the last 2-3 years we've gone to like every show, and I keep getting things now with like, oh, ISS Fort Worth, ISS this, and I'm like,
I think I
I'm
went through a
just gonna go to
similar
Long
thing
Beach.
of trying to go as many as possible, and now ISS Long Beach was the original one I started going to, which I've met both of you at. I don't know if you remember that, but
Mhm.
on the Ryanet boat, maybe. Were you guys on the Ryanet
They did a
3-hour
boat.
tour on the?
They did the boat, what, 2 years, maybe 3 years?
Oh, okay.
Last year it was docked.
Yeah, I didn't go last year. I
Didn't
was
go
sad
last
about
year.
that, but
I did the one a couple years ago where we went out and came back, and Ryan played like acoustic downstairs. I remember because I was egging him on to play his poop song or whatever.
My favorite Ryanet party was when it was outside the convention center.
with
the Sublime one.
Sublime.
Yeah, that was.
I
thought
was
that one
way
was-
more into the boat.
Really?
Yeah. But okay, I guess I also snuck onto the boat. I had Glenn from Windmill City. I was like, hey man, can you get me in? He's like, all right.
You just see you swimming out. The boat's like already way out and just fucking paddling.
So I think maybe personally, I was like, yeah, I snuck into the big leagues. So maybe
I think it was
just for
free to
me,
get
it was-
on. So
Yeah. I think you had to reserve a spot though via some. I probably asked me to sneak me in, and he just put a +1 on, whatever was free to do. Yeah.
Andy, do you want to do some over-unders?
Yeah, let's do it. So we have 9 things here, and you let us know if they're overrated, underrated, or properly rated. Number 1. First thing is quesadillas.
Properly rated.
It depends on the quesadilla. I feel like every place is totally different, and some are super. I like quesadillas that have a lot of stuff in them, like peppers, onions,
loaded,
like chicken, the sauce, everything. I feel like there's so many places you go to, and it's just bland ass like Colby cheese melted with chicken chunks in it, and it's like, this is gross as fuck.
I really like the cheese on the outside that gets crispy.
Crisped. Yeah.
And so a lot of times I just sprinkle cheese in the pan and make my quesadilla with that. So it has like a crunchy skin.
That sounds amazing. All right. So this one is from Joanne. Number 2 is using your turn indicators.
I always do it. And I learned something not that long ago. Actually, Christina told me about it, where on my car, you can like half click it. It's not even a click. It's
You
just
don't know this?
flick it and it only does 3 blinks.
Yeah. Then
So like on the highway, you can like just shift lanes without like fully pulling it down.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, because
and then I was
otherwise
like,
you got to put it back up.
Yeah. It's annoying.
No, mine auto goes back up, but it's like
Not when you're just changing lanes on the highway.
maybe not. I
wouldn't-
don't know.
I don't
I'm
think
just
it
so
would-
used to it. It's like my thing is I do it so much that if there's a sharp turn in a road, sometimes I turn my blinker on to do the sharp turn, which is weird.
I kind of think she said that because she doesn't like when other people don't use them. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Fuck
annoying.
I hate that.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what's
So we're gonna
also
say-
this is a side note on that, but like my new car has such good low beams that everybody thinks they're high beams, and people get pissed at me constantly. Like they're constantly, I'll pass somebody on the highway. They immediately speed up, get right on my ass and turn their high beams on. And I'm just like, dude, these are not my high beams. And then I turn my high beams on and they realize that like, oh, he just has really weird low beams. And then they back off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're underrated?
Underrated. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next, we have vices. So an actual, like a vice that you would have on a tool, like a workbench.
Oh,
Underrated. You can do so much in a vice.
yeah, I would say underrated if people don't realize they're very useful.
Yeah, good answer. I like that.
I feel like my dad, well, I have multiple, but like I remember specifically growing up, my dad had, and this goes back to pre-internet and cell phones. My dad had one in his garage and I would constantly go find shit like in the yard or a rock or something. I would always put it in the vise and take out his grinder and just like grind it down. I would find like a cool stick and I would like carve shit into it. And I would always use the vise. And I love that thing. Okay.
So underrated for sure.
Underrated.
Next, we have faux plants.
Fucking overrated.
Underrated. I love full plants.
I'm with you. Because why? What's your reason?
I like faux plants. Like I like them even to look a little fake.
Oh, the faker the better.
Well, I like the like uncanny valley with plants where it's like you get a little you're like, oh, that's fake. That couldn't exist in real life. You know?
I like real plants. I like taking care of real things. Like I have real plants on my windowsill over here, but I also love the new Lego plants.
Lego plant. I have one. Yeah, I have one. I got one for my birthday.
I have one on my kitchen table.
Did you put it together already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my daughter made a vase in school. It's like this weird, creepy creature, but she got it for me for my apartment. And then when we went to Legoland, I was like, I have to get these Lego flowers to put in it because they'll never die. It'll always look cool.
That's a faux plant.
Yeah, but
it's plastic plant. Okay, so that qualifies.
Yeah, and it looks fake.
Super fake. Yeah,
super fake.
Yeah,
I think that they're underrated because while it's true, I prefer a real, an actual living, breathing cell plant that's in our house. We have lots of them, but we also have fake ones. And I think that, and we have them here at the shop even. And I think that they provide you some sort of calm, like they're calming, like just to see. We're in concrete. We have concrete.
You're buying
floors.
into the matrix. You're buying into the matrix.
Buying in the matrix. There's concrete floors. There's steel beams. There's, like
fake ass plants.
Well, I mean, the green bringing. You
probably like fake tits too, don't you?
No, I'm not a fake.
Son of a bitch.
No, that's not my thing. But nothing against it. It's just that's not my thing. So anyway, yeah. Next, Epsom baths.
Epsom salt?
Yep, in a bath though.
Never done it. I don't take baths.
Bath salts.
Bath salt.
He's just straight to bath.
That only the ones you buy the Bitcoin though, like the ones that
the different ones. At the weird gas stations that. I don't know. I'd say overrated.
Oof. That hurts.
Andy does one like every night, probably.
So does it I know people who do it a lot.
What's the benefit?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's good. Let's leave it at that.
I used to do them when I was a kid just for my feet.
Yeah.
But that was to like fight off, like I had, this is a weird story, but I had a ton of ingrown toenails when I was a kid. And the doctor always made me, after I got them like fixed or cleaned or whatever, they would always make me do like 2 weeks of like Epsom salt soaking. Well, I don't know what it was for other than
I don't
like
ask
killing
questions.
shit, probably.
I don't care, but it feels good. It's good for you. And I've done it this whole week. I haven't taken a bath all summer because it's hot, like that's more of a winter thing. But I started earlier in the week and it's really relaxing. You know, I highly recommend it.
You
Next
do
we
you.
have. No, tell
Oh,
you
wait, is
what,
it a
when you-
cold bath? Is it a cold Epsom?
No. Hot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hot.
Candles lit, roses.
Got the candles. Got the rubber ducks. Dylan, when you
Mhm.
get to town, we'll do an
I'm
Epsom.
gonna take it.
bath.
Want to do a bath together?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
I'll let me know when you're close. I'll run the water.
The trick with a bath with me is that you have to have a little bit of water because when I get in, it's going to go over the edge.
That's fine. We got tile down. If we get a little
Okay.
messy, it's okay.
All right.
All right. Next, we have custom printed boxes.
Oh,
Underrated.
yeah, underrated.
I do also feel that there's a lot of really cool fucking printed boxes out there, but I really like when people go the extra mile to do things on the boxes that you wouldn't normally think of. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like weird instructions or inside the flaps or a way to reuse the box or
Not
something.
just your logo.
It's not
or
just a
whatever.
logo on the side, but it's like the whole box has like a theme and a feel and like
Mhm.
extra stuff on it. I
thought
feel like I was
some-
at Denial recently and he had a bunch of shit on his box that was really cool.
At Windmill City, they got tape made that specifically references that they're reusing boxes whenever they're reusing boxes. So it has their branding on it and it contextualizes, the old Gildan box that they might be reusing
Mhm.
into a customer appreciating that they're using a box they had at their shop
Recycled
that's
box, yeah.
It's like
recycled
repurposed.
box.
Mhm.
Repurposed. So I thought that was really creative that they used that tape and put it all over it. So it recontextualizes, some junky
Mhm.
boxes into something where people might commend you for recycling.
I'm all
Okay.
for that. I'm in a weird spot with the boxes just because I think that it is nice to reuse, but it's also, we've had this debate a couple times, but it's our biggest thing with getting the boxes was they're nicer, they're cleaner, but also
Mhm.
they're specific sizes for the orders that are going out so
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're using the
Mhm.
smallest footprint per order, which obviously is the best for UPS because it's dimensional weight, not actual
Mhm.
weight of the package. So I don't know. I feel like as long as they're actually recycling the boxes that we're recycling, I'm happy. If they were just going in a landfill, then I would feel bad about it.
Mhm.
It's fair. Number 7, Lucky 7, luck.
Like the scratch off ticket.
Just luck.
How do I feel about luck?
Yeah. Mhm.
What do you think? I'm gonna let you go first, Pat.
I think it's, oh man.
I say fuck luck.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, but definitely you got to take advantage of lucky things that happen. So
What is that? What is that saying? I don't remember it. It's something like luck is opportunity meets being prepared or something, where it's like you can take advantage of a situation because you're prepared.
There's
you
one
can't
that's
depend on the luck. Yeah.
there's one that's sort of like that goes, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. I just think I feel like there's too many people out there that put their faith in it not being their fault or it's not their whatever. And I feel like a lot of people use that as a crutch. Whereas I think if you're just a good fucking person and you do good things for people when you feel like you should do a good thing and you work hard, that you do end up with more opportunities and luck
Mhm.
because you're just doing good. Like you're doing the right thing and you're in the right path. And then people are like, oh, he's lucky. It's like, no, I fucking work my ass off and I put myself in situations that are good situations. I'm not constantly doing negative, bad things.
That sounds more
I
like
feel like
karma, maybe a karma
Yeah,
thing.
but I feel like
Oh.
people say I got lucky with this or whatever. And I feel like it's most people that feel lucky or seem lucky are because they're, I don't know, in a good spot. But I think you need to make it. I think I feel like the people who use the term luck are the people who are just like Debbie Downers. They're like, I never have any luck.
A real man makes his own luck.
Exactly. Yeah. Or woman.
Billy Zane, Titanic. That's an office quote. All right. Are we done with the luck part? Or you got some, Pat?
I think we're all on the same page.
I was just gonna say we had bad luck. Our shop got robbed. Then I got to come on the shirt show.
Yeah,
See,
there you go.
So that's I don't know how that.
That was opportunity.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
he set his own robbery up like he planned.
Yeah.
It was
This
him.
has been the goal.
Stole his own shirts.
All right, number 8, we have Crocs.
Oh,
I personally don't like them, but they're awesome for kids.
yeah, man. I'd say currently overrated. I wear Crocs. I made like stickers about how Crocs sucked.
Mm,
So, but they're like totally useful. But I've seen too many like Croc collabs lately where I'm like, it's too far. It's too far.
mhm.
You
Like
gotta,
Lisa Frank Croc.
yeah.
Me and my
Mhm.
daughter went to the mall for her birthday, and they had Lisa Frank Crocs, and I was looking at them, and they were $100.
Yeah, dude, Lisa Frank's back.
I know, but $100 for a pair of Crocs? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. Yeah, the whole thing is that they're great because they're cheap and they're economical.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that, like, I know they get hate because they're ugly as fuck, but like,
Mhm.
I have 2 kids that are constantly like playing outside, or we're going to the lake, or we're doing this, and they work in all scenarios. And then the
Oh,
best part about it
yeah,
is the
yeah.
end of the day, no matter what they fucking do in them, I can wash them in the sink and dry them like a
Mhm.
dish. And then they're fucking brand new again.
Well,
the next day.
they're originally meant for boats, right? Like that's sort of
They
Oh.
float,
like
and
boat
like
life.
instead of wearing water shoes, they can wear their Crocs.
Mm,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the movie Idiocracy, they bought
Yeah.
Crocs for everyone to wear in the 2036 or whatever time period they're in because they thought it was the stupidest looking shoe. I think that was their big break. That's how they got lucky.
mhm. Okay, next.
I have a pair of Crocs that I left outside, not in direct sunlight, that shrunk over a period of 3 weeks to the size where they fit my wife's feet.
Really?
And I had no idea that Crocs would shrink in high temperature heat. So just a little tip if you want to hand them down to your kids or something.
I mean,
just
you
leave
are
them
in-
the
Fucking
sun
melt,
till-
put them in the oven for
put them in the oven.
320 for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you go down 2 sizes.
Mhm.
All right, guys, last but not least, we have embroidery.
Hmm.
I want to say overrated, but I don't know why.
I have a love-hate for embroidery.
I think we contract our embroidery, and I think finding partners for embroidery and being able to offer it to our clients was a big goal for a while. And now I think we have started doing some heat pressing of hats where it's appropriate. And so it's like gone down a little bit and trying to figure out some hats that might look good heat pressed. I don't know.
Heat pressed, you mean with a screen print transfer or with a patch?
Oh, actually,
I love
both.
patches.
Yeah, I think both. Because we still do some trucker hats with super color transfers.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, that looks great. You know?
Right.
I don't want to comment.
Well, you can say properly rated. You know,
Yeah.
like then you're kind of just in the middle.
Rated.
Embroidery. Hey, give her
I
take.
don't like it. I don't care. If I had a choice, if I had a button to push where embroidery would exist or not exist and nobody was looking, I would probably pick not exist.
So overrated. There
Huh.
we go. There's your
Yeah.
answer.
Oh,
I'm going to get some hate on that one probably, but
yeah. Was that the last one?
I'm just not in that world. Like I don't
Yeah.
care about it. We get customers all the time that order a fuckload of shirts and they order like 10 hats. And then I always have to send it to the lady across the street, which is totally fine. Like she does a great job, but it's like, it's out of my hands. Sometimes there's an issue with it or whatever. And I'm like, God, like we did our part. 99% of this order is done correctly. Why is there just one thing that's just a fucking pain in the ass, doesn't look good, doesn't hold the line or whatever? And it's just like, I know people are going to comment like, oh, it's just because you don't know about embroidery. You don't fucking whatever. I don't care. I just don't want it. I don't care about it.
Also, if embroidery went away, I probably wouldn't get sales call every day from people who want to digitize things.
Digitizing, yes.
And then that would, if anyone could just take those calls away and support whatever happened.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. All right. Was that number 9?
That was number 9. So Patrick, cheers to no more breaking and entering.
Oh, yeah. And I did think of a question if you're still open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
it
got
is.
So we have no pneumatic or air powered tools in our shop. Well, obviously we have a huge compressor.
Mhm.
And I was just looking at some air powered tools and was seeing if there's anything that you recommended changing in your shop to be be pneumatic, or
Like as far as like printing?
as far as printing, or even
I think he means like
I guess
drills and things, like at a mechanic
Yeah.
shop, maybe.
yeah. Is there anything that you have hooked up that
I was going to
runs
say
on air?
if it was printing, I think the best things that we have that run on air would be the autocoder. I love that. I love that that runs on air. Switching everything over to pneumatic heat presses was awesome.
Oh, okay.
I love having that feature. Like those fucking rule. But as far as air tools, I think the number one used air tool here would just be like the air gun to like
Blow out.
Yeah.
clean the presses or whatever. But as far as other tools, I don't know. I don't really have anything here that I run on, but like I love air things just because you can regulate them so well. And I think the air gun is amazing. Like you can clean the whole shop with the fucking thing. So
Cool.
I don't know. That's my take on it. I know Andy's got some tools and
We only have like kind of what you said with the air gun and then to pump up tires, just like a tire pump.
but I think other tools that you have are nice. Like you use the air blower, like the battery blower.
Cordless, yeah.
And now you have the pressure washer handle to clean your floors.
We do have that, and we have it's not pneumatic, but it's the Ryobi grease pump. So like it's a huge hassle to put the fitting over the Zerk fitting and then to pump at the same time with the things that never work. And so we got where you just pull the trigger and it pumps grease into your press. It's really cool.
Yeah.
We have 2 of them actually.
Cool.
Hot, one for hot, like one for the super lube and then one for the hot temp grease for the dryers and stuff. So that's really great to have. I love those.
Super lube.
Super lube.
The best name ever. But yeah, dude, thank you. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
awesome.
This is like on my bucket list. So
Oh, hell yeah. I'm glad to be a part
can
of
I give a shout out to people that will be listening to this show?
Yeah.
There's Nicholas Robinson, who was our old shop manager, and
What's up,
Joseph
Nick?
Silbar, another old shop manager, and Gabrielle, who is our current shop manager here.
So many shop managers.
Yeah. Well, those are the people I'd listen to this podcast with. So.
Well, hell yeah.
You're like, that's
Thanks.
bullshit. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. I need to check out your cream gear.
Yeah, we can
wanna
send
see
you
what you
a little Tuscan summer fun club package.
What do they print it on? Like I'm that guy who always asks, like, what is this printed on? Or you can tell me off camera if you don't want people to know.
No, I mean, I think one of them is a Gildan hammer tee, which is
There you go.
Which I like.
Yeah, I like the hammer tees.
Do you remember? I still have a Gildan hammer that was made by American Apparel that they're giving out as a sample at ISS like 7 years ago or something. So I keep it. It's like a vintage.
The 1717 is my. If someone tells me they're printing it on an independent hoodie, the lightweight one or the Comfort 1717, I'm guaranteed to snag it. But that's about the only thing that fits my large torso human body. So
we have, I know we did some ringer tees in this one, and that was, I actually don't know which one was chosen because we had a few trying to figure out the fit. Remember one of them had a giant collar.
I'll look it up. I'll get on there and see what's up.
Okay. And
But,
I'd love to come visit your all shop sometime when I can.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I actually have Becker Supply is going to stop in as soon as this episode's over.
Ooh.
So I'm happy to see
Tell those guys I said hello.
Well, but hey, man, we'll see you. Enjoy the rest of your day,
All right.
and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya. Thanks for having me.